Hey guys, BJ Ward from WardFitnessSystems.com, and today we're going to show you how to enhance your workout recovery, reduce stress, and break up that computer posture.
Hi, my name is Sharon Prothe, and I'm a registered yoga teacher. I have a studio in Brookside called Fit Formula, and we incorporate yoga into working out and finding proper nutrition. What makes finding your fit formula so great is that you have the opportunity to sweat, stretch, become active, but also restore and reset your body and your brain so you can find balance. So everybody has a different fit formula, and my job as a yoga teacher, I have a degree in dietetics, I'm also a half marathon finisher, is knowing that you can overdo it and you need to back off a little bit sometimes. So we're going to get started in a sequence of stretches. Some might call them yoga, but we don't want you to feel intimidated by the word yoga. So BJ is not a regular yoga practitioner. So we're gonna move through these stretches so you feel restored after a heavy workout, that you got some more mobility back into your joints, mainly your hips, shoulders, and hamstrings. And we're gonna start here with your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees in what's called tabletop. One thing that's really important is that you have really strong arms, almost that you're even pushing the mat away and plank. Because from here you're gonna look back and feel your middle back lift. Come into what's called cat. And one of the most important things is that you relax your neck. So you want to find as much grounding from your neck through your middle back and into your hips. Really stay strong and press the mat away. So see how you exhale, you're emptying the breath out of your lungs. You can find a little bit more space. And from here, you're going to take your eyes up and look up and let your back arch. So you're coming into what would be like a back bend. What's important is your shoulders can come up by your ears and you want to breathe them back. You want to feel less stress through your shoulders, feel your shoulder blades come down your back. And then you also want to keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Press the mat away, use your exhale, look back through your legs. We'll do that twice more. Good. Inhale, take your eyes up and look up. Take the back bend. And so what happens is you're just warming up your spine. If you've got any tightness in your low back, then you're going to start to feel some space in between the vertebrae. Last time here, come back into your neutral spine, and that just means your shoulders are going to be in line with your hips. We're not going to use any like crazy weird words, yoga words that you might not seem familiar with. We're going to keep this really street level, kind of yoga 101. From here, I want you to walk both hands over to the right side. We're going to take a hip stretch. Keeping your torso lifted now that your hips shoot back to your heels. You're not going to make it all the way back to your heels. You're going to find a nice deep stretch into your lats. Maybe you feel some tightness in your back or shoulders, and stretching through your sides, your ribs, and your shoulders and lats here are going to open up that space. Use your exhale, and when you exhale, you're actually releasing and relaxing. And when you relax, you're going to be able to stretch a little bit deeper. If you're already like coming into this gripping and tight, mad, then you're not going to be able to get the benefits as much. So use your exhale and relax a little bit more. That's perfect. Come back up into your tabletop, so lift your hips. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Take the same thing to the left. Walk your hands over to the left. The main thing that you want to be mindful of is when you shoot your hips back. Do you have a difference in each side? Is there an imbalance? Is one side more open, more flexible, more mobile than the other? And that's important to note. Usually when there's an imbalance in your hip, shoulders, hamstring, that means that there's something compensating for it on the other side, and then you're going to progress to possibly an injury. So being balanced is really important, and feeling the imbalance before it sidelines you is something that you can use this for. Good. Do you feel that stretch? Let your hips get low. Come back up to your tabletop. From here, you're going to step your feet back, and you might want to realign yourself. We're just going to come into a plank. One of the most beneficial and most used postures is down dog. When you sit up from down dog, you want your shoulders over your wrists. You want to be in a nice strong plank, ignite your thighs, and lift your hips. Lower your heels, and keep them where they're at. It might take a lifetime to ever get your heels low. One of the things people like to do is walk their hands back so their heels get low. But you want to keep them lifted so you can feel this nice stretch through your, you feel that through your calves, your Achilles, your heels. And then you're coming back again to that neck that you let relax. Press your hands into the mat. Press all 4 fingers and your thumb into the mat. The strength from your hands let your heels get low. Use your exhale, push the floor away. You're going to find a nice stretch into your calves and all the way down your legs. Take a breath in. Remember not to grip or get mad because your heels aren't coming low. And from here, you're going to breathe your right leg up. So take your right leg back and up. And then you're going to breathe it up to your thumb. Come all the way up. Yep. And you might need to help wiggle it forward. You're going to come into a lunge, but then you're going to come into a low lunge. So bring your back knee down. From here, you can see how his spine is rounding. When you have a rounded spine, you release into the hamstring and hip that we want to stretch. So you can grab something if you're at the gym, you're at home, something that might lift your hands up so you can have a nice flat back. So now his spine is nice and straight. Using your breath, you want to breathe forward, and you'll feel that through your hip flexors. And when we do the other side, you'll see how his whole hip unhinged. You're going to stay here for a little bit. Don't forget to breathe. And part of the yoga breathing is breathing in and out through your nose. So seal your lips, inhale through your nose, and exhale. And why that breath is important is it triggers the nervous system that keeps you calm and relaxed. Approaching an active recovery or a deep stretch session shouldn't create stress. It should help you relax. Another option, if you feel like the back of your foot, sometimes our foot gets really tense, and even like finding this nice stretch in the top of your foot. From here, you're going to keep the length in your spine, and you're going to extend through your right leg, straighten it up, and then bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Yep. This is what's called half splits. And the main thing, key actions, are the long spine. Really, what's important that people forget about is flexing your foot, pulling your toes back. Did your hamstring ignite? Good. If you are really comfortable here, you have a long spine, your hamstring's long, your toes are pulled back, you can bend your elbows back away from you, and you'll find a deeper stretch. Perfect. Feel like you're bringing your shoulder blades to touch. Excellent. And just for the sake of feeling what not to do, take a round and really round your back if you're bringing your forehead down. Do you feel it in your hamstrings? No. So it's less important to have your forehead to your shin than have a long spine and bend your elbows back. Use your exhale, use your breath, hinge forward. Perfect. Is it getting tight? So what happens is you can back away and use your exhale, find a little more length and depth. Perfect. Go ahead and set your weights down. Bring your hands to your top of your mat. And then bend your knee. You're going to step back into plank. And meet me in your down dog. Hands and feet are in the perfect place in your plank. Lift your hips, lower your heels, come into down dog. Does one side feel more open than the other? Does that hamstring feel like that heel's getting longer? So these are the things to be mindful of. And if you're thinking about what's happening in your hips, shoulders, and hamstrings, you're not thinking about your to-do list. You're not thinking about what you have yet to do. You can stay in the moment. From here, you're going to lift this leg up a tiny bit so you can breathe it through to your left thumb. And you might need to help it through. Maybe it doesn't come all the way up. Good. Bring your back knee down in your low lunge. Now you'll see relax a little, let your weight shift forward. Good. You find that unhinging of your hip and your hip flexors. So you feel this in your quad, your hip flexors. You can untuck your back toe so you get a stretch in the top of your foot. Perfect. Good. And as you gain more mobility through your hips and hip flexors, you can walk your foot out a tiny bit more. And then get a little bit lower. There you go. Perfect. Feel the difference? Good. From here, you're going to stay here for as long as you want. We're tightening the sequence up so it's accessible and you have some key stretches to take with you. You can stay here if you really feel that action in that hip and that stretch in your quad. From here, you're going to shoot your hips back. Bring your hands so they're more underneath your shoulders. And flex your foot. Find length in your hamstring. Most people I work with can barely get their hamstring. I mean, there's like a wiggle, a fatigue happening. That's okay. It's really normal to not have this much mobility in your hamstrings. That's where you work on pulling your toes back, keeping your spine long. What's more important than rounding, bringing your forehead, is bending your elbows. Use your exhale and bend your elbows back. Good. The reason you exhale when you find power when you lift, or you exhale when you find a deeper stretch in yoga is it's that relaxation. It's focusing, if you're emptying your lungs, that you come down a little bit further. Fantastic. You can stay here as long as you need, as long as you want, as long as your hamstrings need to find that long release. From here, bring your hands to your mat, and you can let your weights go. And come back to plank. Meet me in plank. And then meet me in down dog, hips high, heels low. Let your neck relax. Perfect. From here, oh, something just popped. From here, walk your hands back to your feet. We're gonna, look at that. It's like perfect. And then I want you to roll up a tiny bit. We're gonna take your right foot behind your left. We're gonna take that hamstring stretch. If your hamstrings are still super tight, then I want you to come onto your blocks or your weights and find an extra, good. This is transferring that hip into the high hip attachment where the hamstring attach. Let your neck relax, and then you're finding the length here. You can stay here as long as you want. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. So unwind, bring your big toes to touch, take your left foot behind your right. Relax your neck, slight bend in your knees. You never want to hyperextend your knees over, straighten them. Let your neck relax, good. Unwind here. So you can stay in this stretch as long as you need to. But we're going to come back into our plank and into down dog. Hips high, heels low. Remember to set your plank up with your hands and feet just under your shoulders, and then lift your hips and lower your heels. You're in the perfect down dog. From here, we're going to transition. So I want you to come to high plank and lower slow, guide your core, and come all the way down, let your elbows come in. This is called a chaturanga, which is a yoga push-up. Let your chest land, and then I want you to bring your forearms to the mat. Lift up here in the Sphinx. Press down and lift up. Feel this opening through your upper back. So we spend all day hunching and grounding forward. This is the perfect stretch to come off your desk, to come out of an airplane. You need to loop your shoulders back. You can feel how even when you're trying to loop back and pressing the floor away, you still want to roll forward. From here, look over your right shoulder, let your left shoulder dip down. Take this little side stretch, perfect. Come back up to center. And when you exhale, you twist, and that gives you a little bit more space in your back. Your lungs are empty. Come back up. Do that one more time on each side. If you want to do it 10 more times on each side, stay with it. We're going to progress from here and look over to your left. Come back up. From here, press your palms down so you can tuck your toes. Meet me in down dog, and we're going to transition to our backs. Hips high, heels low. Does your down dog feel different now than when you first started? Good. Come to your knees. Cross your ankles. And then just scoot your hips through and lie on your back. From here, we're going to come into sleeping pigeon, which you might have been doing your whole life through sports and athletics. Bring your right foot on your left knee and guide your shin in. One thing you want to think about is that you can use this left hand, push your knee away. Yeah. You might not have someone here to help you guide your shin in, but you can always put your foot against a wall, and then you can bring that more in towards your shin. Perfect. You can also grab behind your hamstring. If you're super tight, one way to modify is always grab a towel from the gym, and you can bend your elbows and guide that knee in. Perfect. Keep your feet flexed. There's ligaments that surround your knees, and this helps ignite those, keep everything protected. Good. You can stay here as long as you want. Bring both feet down, and then just take the other side. Left foot on your right knee. And then think about feet flexed. Reach through. Good. Guide your shin in. Breathe that knee away from you. You're externally rotating that hip, so you want it to move away. Good. You're still breathing. If you ever have a yoga teacher pushing on your leg and it's too much, just let them know. Is it too much?
That's good.
All right. Good. Now bring both feet to the mat. Take them as wide as your mat, and let both knees fall to the right. And this might sound weird, but now lift your right foot up and place it on your left knee. And the weight of your foot is gonna authentically, kind of organically stretch into this high hip and IT band up into your back. Good. Let your arms relax. There you go. Unwind your legs. Feet wide. So it helps to have your feet about as wide as your mat, both knees to the left. Left foot, right knee. Be mindful of the difference, right side versus left. Let gravity release into that hip. Use your exhales, because you're still finding a little twist. You're still staying balanced and relaxed. The more you are relaxed, the quicker you recover. Because then your muscles can rebuild and restore. They'll be stronger once they get there. Bring both feet to the mat and straighten your legs out. From here, we're going to take Shavasana, which is just the ending of a yoga class, or any time that you feel really stressed, just lie on your back. Take a few breaths in. Close your eyes, so part of your senses, of your 5 senses, you're shutting one down. Take an extra breath out. Do that twice more. Namaste.